No, so you can see here the adaptive grid has changed its shape. Alright, so one more thing is I'm using a 4-meter unit in order to get a more massive scale on the simulation. Also, in the dynamics tab, I will set the vorticity, I will lower it to 0.05, increase the cooling, and also introduce a bit of random noise. Alright, so next thing is I'm going to multiply our emitters. So I'm going to lay out other spheres as well. I will create a path for the explosion in the fashion that actually happens in real world carpet bombing. So I will make this a smaller one, then right here a bigger explosion. So the more variation you have in the size of the sphere, which directly corresponds to the strength of the explosion. So the more variation you have in the size and in the placement and then in the timing of the explosion, I think the better effect you will get, and it will be it will have a more of a violent effect to it. So this one will be a medium explosion, then a weaker one, and then maybe a couple of strong ones finishing off. Okay, so I will also bunch them more together in order to get more interference between them. Okay, like this. And whoops. And I will also make them more elliptical in order to shape the explosion better. Being more elliptical means that they will emit more in the up and down direction, and also have to clone the Phoenix source as many times as we have the emitter geometries. Okay, so we got 6 and we have 2 more to go. Okay. And now we have to associate each of them with the correct geometry. Whoops. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, the next thing we need to do is to exclude these from interacting, as we did with the first one. So, in this way they will inject instead of brushing. And in this tutorial I'm going to also use a brush mode source in order to create the ground. So first off, I'm going to create a solid ground here. I'm not going to exclude this box from the simulator. I'm just going to lower it a bit and move it below the emitter sphere. So this way the explosion will interact with the ground and it will spread out wide on the surface, and it will also rise up, so it will have a more interesting and more realistic shape. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to create another box with which I will use the brush mode source. I'm going